Let me paint you a picture. It's April 1994. I'm 8, and out of nowhere, Mega Man Soccer appears at our video rental store. It's so new, Nintendo Power hasn't even had a chance to review it yet. But it's Mega Man and soccer, literally the two biggest things in the world to me. But it's checked out. And the next week, when we go to the rental store again, it's also checked out. And the week after that, also checked out. Okay, so sidebar. This was also the era where I got exactly 2 video games per year, one for my birthday and one for Christmas. And my birthday was just a few weeks away. Mom, Dad, for my birthday this year, I want Mega Man Soccer. But you don't even know if it's good. What about that Mega Man X you've rented multiple times? Or like Super Metroid or Wario Land? You like those. Shouldn't we wait to rent Mega Man Soccer just in case you don't like it? Mom, I love Mega Man, and I love soccer. I will love Mega Man Soccer. It's going to be good. So I got it for my birthday. And within 5 minutes, I realized I'd made a huge mistake. This game is not good. Nintendo Power's May 1994 issue, which I probably got like a week after my birthday, corroborated what I already had known. This is not a good game. But first, what's Mega Man? Okay, so Mega Man is a classic video game series from Capcom that debuted on the original Nintendo Entertainment System in 1987, and it had its first 6 entries on Nintendo's 8-bit console. In each game, you're a little robot boy named Mega Man, and you run around shooting bad guys, and then you fight a robot master at the end of each level. And usually the robot master's themed like Pharaoh Man or Snake Man, and then their levels appropriately themed too. And then after you beat all the robot masters, you fight their leader, Dr. Wily. So there's some big things that set Mega Man apart from its contemporaries, in that 1, you can choose to play any level in any order from the level select screen, and 2, you inherit the Robot Master's power after defeating them. And so this can lead some strategy to your playthrough, because you can be like, I'm going to take this level first, because then I'll get this weapon, and that'll make the rest of the game way easier. Okay, so what's Mega Man Soccer? Mega Man Soccer was released in February 1994 in Japan and in April 1994 in the United States for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. There is some dispute on what the title of the game is. The cartridge and box call it Mega Man Soccer, but the title screen in the actual game calls it Mega Man's Soccer with an apostrophe. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to call it Mega Man Soccer. Mega Man Soccer features several modes, including Exhibition, which is like a one-off game, League, and Tournament modes. And all modes allow multiplayer, allowing the players to compete against each other or work on the same team to defeat the computer-controlled opponent. However, the main mode is the Capcom Championship, which is basically story mode. And Mega Man Soccer story mode starts with a cutscene that pretty much plays out exactly like every other Mega Man game. Dr. Wily unleashes an attack on the world with his evil robots, and then Mega Man has to save the day. But this time, he has to play soccer to save the world. And that's the exact kind of dumb I'm here for. The evil robots in this game are a smattering of robot masters from the first 4 NES Mega Man games, because canonically, and yes, Mega Man Soccer is canon, the game takes place after Mega Man 4, even though Mega Man 5 and 6 were already out when Mega Man Soccer was released. Like classic Mega Man games, the story mode does not play out in a linear fashion. Instead, you get to choose which of your 8 opponents you'd like to take on, and in what order, with a level select screen right out of the classic games, although it's prettied up for Super Nintendo. And then that final level is against Dr. Wily's team. Okay, so in normal Mega Man games, after you beat the Robot Master, you inherit their powers. So, for example, once you beat Cutman, you can throw his boomerang scissors. In Mega Man Soccer, you start out as a team of 8 Mega Mans, and as you win, your defeated opponents join your team. So by the end of the game, your team is built up of a bunch of different Robot Masters with different abilities, so you can sub into any position, which is a nice way to keep the spirit of the traditional Mega Man alive in this new context. In the Exhibition mode, you can pick any of the game's characters without having to unlock them, including 8 more Robot Masters that aren't even in the story mode. Now, curiously, there's a Dr. Wily sprite just to the right of the character select screen, but there's no way to pick him. The intent was that he would be unlockable after beating the story mode, but get this, Capcom didn't program an ending to story mode. It just goes back to the title screen. So, the Wily icon remains in the game, but there's no way to ever play as him, without using a Game Genie, of course. And each playable character has different stats that affect how they play. For example, Woodman's a little more stocky and durable, which made 8-year-old me think, that guy's ideal for a defender in the back row. And each character also gets a different power shot that has some kind of visual flourish that blows up opponents while looking like that character's special power from the original Mega Man games. So in this way, Mega Man Soccer does serve as one of the earliest mascot sports games, predating the Mario sports titles like Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, etc. But unlike Mario, the Mega Man Sports series ended with just this one entry. Mega Man Soccer is also just weird for its era in that it uses the classic Mega Man model and classic bosses, even though Mega Man X was the primary Mega Man series on the Super Nintendo. All the characters in Mega Man Soccer originated on the 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System, and this game marks their first appearance on the Super Nintendo, and actually only appearance for these Robot Masters. And as a result, the character models from Mega Man and other Robot Masters got updated models with more colors and more animations than you'd see on the NES. There are also some fun localization choices, like how the fields retain the characters' Japanese names. Like Mega Man's field is called Rock Field because in Japan he's known as Rockman. And Proto Man's field is called Blues Field because Proto Man's name is Blues in Japan. But how does Mega Man Soccer play? Well, it's a soccer game, and it's not a very good one at that. The game features 8 versus 8 teams, really 7 versus 7 plus a goalkeeper for each side, which isn't even realistic for soccer. That's 11 on 11, but we'll get to that later. The soccer fields are extremely large and zoomed in, so you can only see a few characters on screen, and you can never see the full field, which leads to a lot of blind passes and hoping your teammate gets to the ball before your opponent. You can use the radar, but watching the radar dots to play the game just seems impractical and, not fun. There's also not much variety on the offensive side of the ball. You can shoot, pass, or kick the ball down the field, but you can't do any dodges or evasion techniques or, anything clever or decide when you want to have turbo for a little speed boost. It's just hope you're faster than your opponent. The game is mostly just passing the ball back and forth, and the screen's so big that even if you get to the goal box, you can't see the goalie until you're right up on them, which makes setting up shots tough because the game lacks the control flexibility to step around the goalie or fake them out. So as a result, the only reliable way to score is a power shot. Okay, so I try not to criticize games for what I think they should be, especially when my examples of good games were released well after the game in question, but Mega Man Soccer is just, it's a mediocre representation of soccer with the bare minimum of Mega Man flourishes. Aside from character designs and power shots, there's not much in the soccer part of the game that just screams Mega Man. Make each character more unique than just stats of Woodman is heavy, so he's slower and harder to steal from. Do something with the animations to make it more whimsical. Replace Cutman's slide tackle with a boomerang, or give Woodman a leaf shield that keeps opponents from stealing the ball while he dribbles down the field. Allow characters to use their trademark weapons more. Or, build hazards into the field that represent the level design from classic Mega Man. Stuff like spikes or vanishing blocks or just something. But here's really the most critical thing. I think that Mega Man Soccer would have been more successful if it scaled down the team size even more. It's already 8 versus 8 as opposed to 11 on 11 like real soccer. But just go smaller, cut down to a smaller team of 4v4 like FIFA Street or NBA Street does, or 5v5 like Mario Strikers Charge does. And then put those players just on a smaller field that's always completely visible like NBA Jam or Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey does. That'd make the game, one, run quicker and feel less like it's just kicking the ball back and forth. Okay, I've given a lot of chances to Mega Man Soccer over the last 25 years, so I think I can safely say it's not a good game. Now, the fact that it exists at all is pretty incredible, especially for its era, and everything around the actual soccer game is really cool, like the story mode and the way you integrate your defeated opponents into your team. But the actual soccer gameplay is just not compelling, and that's primarily what the game is, which is really a bummer. Thank you for watching That Was a Game, and we'll see you again next time.